So hopefully Graham won't find it a problem that I'm going to try to respond to some of this because they're still going live. But make sure I'm clear on what my point was in that email.
Which one of these decrees are you holding to?
The only one that
And who comes in to destroy the city and the sanctuary? Was it the Jews that destroyed their own homeland?
Yep.
Huh?
Yeah.
Who's the prince that establishes a covenant with many for 1 week?
Jesus.
Isn't that the Antichrist?
No.
That establishes a covenant between the Arabs?
That is verse 27 is Jesus confirming the new covenant promised to the Jews. The only evidence that's time sensitive according to Scripture that confirms Jesus is the seed of the woman, the Messiah who takes away the sins of the world. Remember what the 70 weeks are for? To take away sin, to put an end to transgression, to anoint the most holy. The 6 things I underlined in the email that Jesus did, bring in everlasting righteousness, put an end to sin. Yeah, that's Jesus, not the Antichrist. And yes, there's 4 decrees. One of them is the decree. And when you look at how the Jews actually rendered time from that decree to Jesus' baptism is exactly 69 weeks. So verse 27, the 70th week, because remember, it's a 70-week period to accomplish all those things, and the temple would be destroyed at the end of it. Well, the temple was destroyed. Did Jesus bring in everlasting righteousness and put an end to sin? Was he cut off in the middle of that 70th week, 3.5 years into the week? Yes, he was. The temple was destroyed. So if he didn't do it then, who did? Even if I say, okay, and the point was, even if I say, okay, fine, maybe there's a time interval because it split up there. It split up to emphasize the 70th week, the one where the Messiah comes. That's why it's split up. Nobody knows why the first section split up for sure. Probably to establish that these are sevens and Jubilee increments, because that's 7 sevens is 49. Then there's 62. And then it says after the 62 or after the 69 is what it means. I'm not going to get into that, but most people agree to that, including dispensationalists and people of my persuasion. The grammar says it's after the 7 and after which is the 62 is after the 7. So it's after 69 weeks. Doesn't matter though, for my point, because even if you separated it out, after the 62 would mean the 62 are over and the 7 are already over as well. And so it still makes the point, even if it doesn't mean after 69, which it does. You're saying, yep, that's Jesus. Yep, after the 69, after it, not at the end of it, not still in it, but after the 69 are over. So the things mentioned in that verse, like I've repeated already multiple times, are what Jesus did by bringing the new covenant and dying on the cross. If you break it up, the 70 weeks, he's not inside of the 70 weeks. Even if I grant this period of that's not counting is part of the 70th week, and the 70th week is some god-awful time in the future, you are putting Jesus' sacrifice outside the 70 weeks, therefore removing him from accomplishing what's listed within the 70 weeks. Even if I grant that it's letting you do that, which it's not, because it gave 70 weeks. It's a probationary period. It gives a starting point that tells you right there, 70 weeks. 490, 7 times 7 times 10. 70 times 7. It's a thing. It's like, hey, look, God's like, look, I'll give you, just like the Amorites. Their iniquity had to fill up. God gave them 7 times 70. And that last time, at the very end of it, the Messiah came and they rejected him. But he still went just to the Jews only until the other half of the week was fulfilled. Because God had to establish his new covenant with the holy people, with the Jews, the Jewish people. And then he went to the whole world after their still rejected him, culminating in the death of Stephen. And they can still be grafted in to their own covenant. It's theirs. We're grafted into it. Jesus brought the new covenant. If he didn't, the temple's over. It got destroyed. He had to come before then. So that's the point. So the funny thing is, Ellen White and I affirm that, no, in fact, Jesus did bring the new covenant in the week that's after the 69th week. And no, that isn't the Antichrist. He confirmed his covenant with his people. He was cut off halfway through the week. And if you read the New Testament with that in line and look, just do a word study with that first verse. Who brought everlasting righteousness, put an end to sin, made reconciliation for iniquity, anointed the most holy. That's Jesus, obviously. And if you look at the New Testament and you do a word search on all 6 things, you'll find there's at least one verse being proclaimed in the New Testament, all over the whole New Testament. They quote those things as being accomplished. The water, the spirit, and the blood bear witness in the earth, for instance. Or he brought the new covenant, all who believe, everlasting righteousness. I think it's like in Ephesians and stuff. Clearly, the New Testament writers are saying this Jesus, this one, he brought in the things promised by the seed of the woman and in Daniel's prophecy. There is no other covenant. It was always Jesus. And so the ironic thing is, Ellen White is not saying Satan bears the sins of the world in the sense you're thinking or the way you're saying it. Atonement was a word before it was in the Bible. It means reparations or at-one-ment. She doesn't think Jesus didn't accomplish that because Jesus took the blood into the most holy place. It's typology. That's the only thing that saves you. The whole point of that is making sense of Leviticus 16 and the typology. When Jesus comes out of the most holy place, the sins have been taken care of. Placing them onto Satan is like saying, look, for the sins have been removed from the people. Okay? And they get put onto Satan as like saying he's to blame for all of it. And then that destroys him. Because a lot of other doctrines play into this, but in no way is it saying Jesus didn't accomplish the atonement for the sins of the world, for those who believe. I want you to show me, if you think it's so dangerous, the point is, how is what you're saying not more dangerous? At least she's affirming that Jesus took away the sins of the world. By implication, you're saying by implication, she's undermining the gospel. I'm saying, no, by implication, you're doing it way worse. Even if we're wrong, so be it. But we still say it. She still says and teaches, and I've always been taught and believe that Jesus took away the sins of the world at the cross. So what's the problem? So you're suggesting that it's going to undermine the gospel somehow. Do you have any evidence of that? No. But your position essentially removes Jesus from being the Messiah in Daniel. That's earlier. What is our understanding going to do to undermine it? Yours is even worse. Because we don't actually teach that Satan takes away the sins or bears the sins in that sense. Or that Christ didn't accomplish salvation at the cross. We do teach that. There's nothing. Show me some teachings where we're undermining that. Thank you very much. I only have so much patience. I know my beliefs. I'm open to learning new things. But all you're all showing me is that you don't know what you're talking about, and you're just so quick to condemn things you don't understand. Yeah, you're damn right. I'm more Adventist than I've ever been, and you're just proving, and it's because of you. Let the Bible speak. I don't stand on Ellen White. I stand on Scripture. You stand on being a flailing retard.